Oh my gosh. Ooh. Okay. Yes. Yes, please. So when I first put the DT770 Pros on my head, I was like, what is the big deal about these things? They sound good, don't get me wrong, but they sounded really crispy in the trebles and there was almost no sub bass. And I was like, what gives with these headphones? Why are these things so popular? But the more I listened to the headphones, I was like, ooh, okay, yes. So instead of just telling you how I think they sound, because that's kind of boring, I'm going to actually live listen to some lossless audio in Apple Music through my FIO BTR5 headphone amp DAC. And then I have the 770 Pros plugged into that. And I'll tell you kind of my live analysis of how I think these sound, because they have a very particular sound, very different from the M50X. We're gonna start with a song called Salt Toffee from Ivy Lab. Okay. Ivy Lab's amazing, by the way. Definitely check them out. I'm definitely noticing some sharp highs, some very nice crispy trebles. That's where I think these headphones mostly deliver this like incredible sound, is with the sound stage, like what you hear in the left and right, the stereo field. I hear so many nice sparkly details with the 770 Pros in the hi-hats, in the kind of panning effects that I'm hearing in this song. I feel like I'm hearing definitely more detail than the M50X in the highs and kind of the mid-highs in general. The snares, the cymbals, the sibilants, they're a little crispy, they're a little bit crunchy, they're a little bit too crispy for my personal taste. I kind of like a slightly darker headphone, I guess, but there's plenty of detail. If you love treble heavy headphones and you want to hear like really nice mid highs or really punchy snare drums, I think you will really like the 770 Pros. I'm hearing almost no deep rumble in the bass, and it's really, really unfortunate. I think for me, that's kind of the downfall of these headphones. I'm a bass head. I don't need bass to be like completely rumbling my face, but if it's there, I'll take it. But in songs like this that I know will have a very deep sub bass, at least they should in the headphones, with the 770 Pros, I'm not hearing almost any of the sub bass. I'm feeling a little bit of that deep rumble, which is nice. Like it feels clean. It doesn't feel muddy in the mid bass. Actually, I don't really hear almost anything in the mid bass, which is very strange. It kind of takes away some of the soft edge for me, that kind of warmer tone that I think the M50X has weirdly, although those sound pretty crunchy too. But the M50X at least has more sub bass, which I enjoy. But a lot of people will say that the DT770 Pros aren't made for like extreme bass. They're more made to be a kind of accurate-ish. I wouldn't even say they're accurate, to be honest, but they're more meant for hashtag audiophile kind of listening, accurate, more flat responses. But these are far from flat. To me, they sound way exaggerated in the high trebles and the mid highs, but so detailed. The detail in the stereo field is immaculate. It's insane. It's so good. All right, so now we were listening to Queer by Arca featuring Planningtorock. The song is so like ethereal, so many nice layers in there. So overall, I'm pretty impressed. It sounds pretty good. Again, the highs, the mid highs are definitely pronounced, and in a song that's definitely kind of over compressed on purpose. It sounds good, but that deep rumble, that sub bass, again, I think is very lackluster. Some people might flame me in the comments for saying that these headphones need more bass, but I really do think they do for my personal taste. And in pretty much any like dance, like hip hop kind of songs, I do miss the bass. I want there to be a deeper bass rumble in these, just like desperately. Like if these headphones with this level of trebles in the mid highs that are so sparkly, clean, and detailed in the stereo field, if these had a deep rumbly bass as well, it'd be over. Plus a detachable cable, I'd be all set. All right, so the third song is Robyn, Time Machine, a classic. Sounds pretty good in these headphones. Okay, vocals sound awesome. It kind of sounds like Robyn is in the room or standing next to me singing these vocals. They sound nice and clear. The production quality on this album is also fantastic, which definitely helps. And that's one thing I noticed with these headphones in general. They're so clean in the high end and in the overall sound that you can really tell if something was produced and mastered well or not. This album was recorded really, really well. The trebles aren't too exaggerated, and there's a pretty good amount of bass like in the production of this album, but in the headphones, I'm not hearing a lot of that. I want there to be that really deep thump. I want these to be more exciting. I want these to have kind of more life. So now let's listen to something a little heavier. This is Algorithmic Salvation by the Zenith Passage. Oh my gosh, this sounds incredible. Ooh. All right, so death metal and heavy metal in general, I think sounds incredible through these headphones. And it kind of makes sense because death metal and metal in general has a really huge emphasis on like the high end, the mids, the screamy vocals. There's not a whole lot of like sub bass action. So I don't really miss that in these headphones because I know it's not there in the song itself. But this song is so nicely focused on the mid highs and the highs and the screechy vocals. I really appreciate these headphones for this particular song. And in my experience, just metal in general, it sounds so good because you can hear all of the really intricate guitar playing. You can hear the really interesting panning of all the instruments, the cymbals and stuff. And I feel like I can hear way more details in the guitar playing, which is such an obvious focus of metal, right? All the like all that kind of stuff. Like I feel like I can hear more of those intricate parts individually in these headphones. And I can hear something over here, something over there. The stereo field in these headphones is almost unparalleled from anything that I've ever heard before, especially at the price range of like 170 to 200 or even less. All right, so overall, would I recommend the DT770 Pros? Yes and no. After giving these a lot more listens, I definitely see the appeal of these, especially for people that love the high mids, the crispiness, the sparkliness, sometimes a little too crispy for my personal ears. But yeah, I think these sound fantastic. These definitely excel in the highs, the trebles, the mid highs, the vocals sound really good in these. But where they do lack for me is that mid bass, the sub bass. It's there, but it's not rumbly. It's not that deep, punchy kind of headphones, but I guess it's not really supposed to be because again, it's supposed to be like a flat audiophile mixing in the studio kind of headphones. But even for that, I would pay attention to the highs in these if you're a producer like me. They tend to exaggerate the highs a little too much sometimes for my comfort, and I do wish these had more bass. And this freaking cable, I wish it wasn't here. I wish I could detach this so badly, but the build quality is there. I could see these as being a nice reference headphone when I don't want to listen to very boomy, bassy headphones like the M50X or even the AirPods Max. These sound so different from almost any headphone that I've ever heard. The comfort is also pretty good in these. The build quality is pretty awesome too, a little plasticky, but they feel like they would last a pretty good amount of time. In my opinion, these sound fantastic, and I love hearing the lush stereo field, like all these little details in the left and right. It's so exciting, and it feels like you're listening to some of your favorite songs again for the first time. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you used the DT770 Pros? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you think they're overrated? Do you think they're like the best thing developed ever by humans besides Britney Spears' Oops, I Did It Again? And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, leave a pizza emoji in the comments below, and that lets me know that you are officially part of the hashtag House of Aqua. And smash the like button and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.